Hey guys, I hope you're doing quite well today. I'm sorry I haven't been posting as regularly as I usually do. There's a lot going on the plate right now in the Angelus Mortem back end right now. I'm trying to rent out an apartment, so we've been, doing the showings, trying to look for stuff online. It has been an absolute nightmare, and it's still continuing. So I don't know when we're gonna find a new place. Hopefully it's soon. Plus I had a little work accident last week, so that's been putting me off for a few days. So yeah, just a lot of things that I had to, put Angelus Mortem to the side for a second and focus on myself. So anyway, to celebrate my return, I want to review the entire discography of a band from the Netherlands that I think is still severely slept on, and you people need to get off your asses and check these guys out. You fucking criminals. That's illegal. This band literally has it all going on. We got malicious grooves, brutal ass vocals, crazy melodic and technical riffs, and this is death metal that just surpasses any kind of human comprehension. And after 6 years of being on this planet, I think it's finally time to get into their music once again and let it take over my soul. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're gonna review the entire discography of Sisters of Suffocation. Now I'm gonna say right off the bat that Sisters of Suffocation is a death metal band at its core, but it continuously strives to evolve and expand on the ideas that it's working with, and it always wants to surprise you and disembowel you. Also, my Dutch is non-existent, so if I mispronounce anything, I truly apologize. My stupid Polish-Canadian brain cannot comprehend a language so advanced. Sisters of Suffocation formed in 2014, and right out of the gate they dropped a track called Boundaries. I'm not really sure how hyped this track was at the time, so we're just gonna skip to their 2016 EP, Brutal Queen. Remember the exact video in question, but I do remember this being promoted by Infidel Amsterdam back in the day. That's how I discovered this band, and I immediately threw some cash down because it was such a rush. For a debut, I have to say that Brutal Queen is extremely well put together. There is still kind of that vibe of, oh, we're a new band, we just formed, but this is also a very mature death metal sound. And instead of getting too technical or outside of the box, Sisters of Suffocation just spilled their guts out on this EP. Brutal Queen is an EP filled with emotion and brutality, and it is a perfect balance between the two. Literally, you just get melodic, crunchy, groovy-ass riffs served to you on a golden platter. And the band is not shy to pull every single trick out of the book. Host of a Dead Fetus, for example, one of my favorite tracks on the whole EP, it has a lot of crunchy breakdowns mixed in with the tremolo picking. There's a really brutal atmosphere coming off of this thing, and there's even some thrash elements to provide that extra energy. Skinless Flesh, on the other hand, absolutely teases the shit out of you. I mean, here I am just waiting to get my head ripped off, and after all this crazy build-up and build-up, it just goes full-on at the gates. But I mean, it's still pretty good. Vocals from Sisters of Suffocation definitely have to be mentioned. Els Prince does a fantastic job. She has a deep, menacing guttural, but it can also carry a track like you see in a lot of old school Scandinavian death metal. So honestly, I think if you're into bands like Paganizer or even early era Decapitated, Brutal Queen has everything you would want from a death metal EP in spades. I am so glad I dropped some money on this back when it came out because I don't know how I'd find it. Also, I remember they wrote me this little note that kind of just said thank you, crank it up, whatever. A little sticky note, I kept it in the jewel case because I really like stuff like that, when bands appreciate their fans. It's cool. So we have a pretty strong debut here, but can Sisters of Suffocation hold it down on a full-length release? What the fuck do you think? I mean, why am I here? I was not hyped for this band before. I definitely was when this album dropped in 2017. We have Anthology of Curiosities coming out via Suburban Records, and this is literally exactly where I hoped the band would take their sound in. Now, the album itself isn't that much different stylistically from Brutal Queen. It's just kind of an improvement and a few alterations on ideas that the group was already working with. The melodic riffing is still very much present, but it is way more focused on the old school sounds. There's tracks like I Am Danger, where you literally have that vibe of all the instruments throwing themselves at you. I mean, you got the double bass kicking in, the shredding fucking guitar, the brutal ass gutturals. It sounds like a train hitting your skull, man. It's honestly so overwhelmingly crushing, and I really like it. It kind of reminds me of a band like Grave. I'm also going to say that the production itself is a little bit more under pressure. I felt like Brutal Queen could have used some beefiness, like in the drums for example, and this album does not disappoint because the mix is thick as fuck. Things about this album that I enjoyed too, there's a part at the end of This Is Not My Home where it kind of ends off on a softer note, and then it switches right into I Swear, which begins on that same soft note, and it's like a, I don't know, it's a nice transition. I Swear also has some like creepy ass clean vocals, and then the band goes complete black metal. Seriously, these guys could totally do a black metal side project, I'm just saying. But a lot of this comes from the vocals themselves, because Els Prince actually did expand her range quite a bit. There's a lot of haunting black metal high screams and different variations on the deep guttural that she had already, so honestly I think she could do well in a black metal project. She howls harder than a wolf under the full moon, let me tell you. So yeah, these girls absolutely killed it on their debut full length, and at this point the fan base is growing, the social media is expanding, and legions of people are coming to this band to check their music out, including me. So we were all scratching our heads for the next little while, wondering what the hell's gonna happen next, and then somebody at Napalm Records was like, oh man, I gotta get on this shit, what the fuck? And we got another album. So in 2019, we were blessed with Sisters of Suffocation's sophomore release, Humans Are Broken. The misanthropy's pretty high with this band, so, you know, keep it up. Humans Are Broken takes the already insane vibe of Anthology of Curiosities and cranks up the holy shit factor tenfold. If that was a train hitting your skull, this one minces you into a million pieces with each of its 13 tracks. Now before we get into the tunes themselves, this is actually the first time Sisters of Suffocation decided to really change their lineup. We still have Prinz and Simone van Straten on deck doing the vocals and guitars, thank God, because I don't think the band would be the same without them. But then the group became a five-piece with Mr. Kevin van den Heilenberg on drums and Emily Herweg doing some rhythm guitar. Now Kevin was the first full-time male member of Sisters of Suffocation, and he was also playing in a band already called Awakening Sun. Now Emily, on the other hand, she did do the photography for Brutal Queen, so I'm assuming she just kind of knew the band, things came together somehow, I don't know. But either way, we got new members, a new cover, a new label, a new sound, so what the fuck happened? Well, for starters, the band opted for a lot more technicality and dissonance, which adds to the already insane
huge tone of this album.
Every day we wake up in the same room to have a day like yesterday, and so it will go on. Everything is scheduled.
And this record is also a lot thicker in the mix. Once again, I think Sisters of Suffocation didn't want to descend down that old school death metal hole because a lot of bands end up just going there and they never crawl out of it. No, they keep it very modern and beefed up. But honestly, everything you have come to love from Sisters of Suffocation is very much still present, and the band continues to give a huge middle finger to humanity's many faults and fetishes. I would say though that the lyrics are a little bit more humorous. Like there's a song called Little Shits, and the chorus for that one is well, I'll just let you hear it for yourself. To be honest, I'm not expecting a band to take these giant leaps of improvement with every single release. So honestly, Humans Are Broken plays around with the ideas that Sisters of Suffocation was already working with and expanded them even further and further. It's a truthful crowd pleaser, and it's just a great fucking death metal album. I highly recommend it. God, crowd pleaser hurts to say right now in COVID. I mean, what even is a crowd pleaser? You guys are playing riffs in your basements and recording in studios as if millions of people are going to be watching you. It's just computer screens, bro. But anyway, every single thing that Sisters of Suffocation have released up to this point is absolutely fantastic. I would highly recommend you check out their EP, their 2 albums, just groundbreaking shit. But the lineup changed once again. We have Fons Van Dyke on drums and Tim Schellekens on bass as of 2020. Then on March 10th, the band posted this ominous announcement, and it got my blood pumping. 6 days later, they drop a crowdfund, and in only 1 week, they reached their goal of 8,000 euros, which is absolutely insane. And you're probably wondering, Nick, what the hell is this crowdfund for? Well, let me tell you, friends. The band is dropping a new album, their 3rd album. It's called Eradication, and in the group's own words, this concept album tells tales about a mutilated world, how people might endure that world. The sound of the album is a mix of old and new school death metal with unexpected but interesting twists, 16 tracks of full, destructive, high energy music. So since they reached their goal already, it has now increased to 12,000, and they're gonna put out a bunch of merch, photo shoots, and these socks, man. It's worth it for the socks, come on. I'm gonna link the crowdfund below. If you actually visit their page, you can get a lot more details about the concept and the theme they're playing around with this album. Way more detail than I'm willing to put into this video, but it's an interesting thing nonetheless. So hopefully sometime this year we're gonna be getting that record, and I'm just super excited. So yeah, this video was pretty fun to record. I like revisiting bands that I used to listen to in high school, see how they evolve and what they're doing today, which clearly this is an example of a big improvement. So links to Sisters of Suffocation can be found below, along with my own stuff, and I'm glad you guys tuned in today. Support bands and stay fans. Fucking hails.